just checking in with you. About to go watch Dune Part 2. Just posted my Dune movie reaction for the first one, for Part 1, this morning. That just went up. Um, but yeah, I'm excited. I know that Florence Pugh, Austin Butler, and there's a few others stars that are gonna be in this one that wasn't in the last one. But yeah, I'm excited, and I'm about to go get me a popcorn bucket. So, all right, I'll catch you guys here in a minute. That funny was so moving. And I am back. I just got out of watching Dune Part 2. Before I got to the movie, or before I went into the movie, I bought the new Dune popcorn bucket. Here's the actual popcorn bucket. Haven't even opened this yet. This is the worm accessory that comes with it. It's so weird. I haven't even looked at this. I did get a free popcorn or bucket full of popcorn. I don't really eat popcorn now. Like after I had braces when I was younger, I couldn't eat popcorn or chew gum like while I had braces. So ever since I got my braces off, I don't eat popcorn. I never really ate it beforehand either. You can see I ate a little bit, during the 3 hour movie because I was hungry. But I love collecting the popcorn buckets, especially ones like this. Like, that's so weird. So weird. Imagine trying to grab popcorn. Look, the lid just came off. Imagine trying to grab popcorn out of that. It won't even stay on. There we go. Maybe I just didn't press down hard enough the first time. But yeah, try imagining eating through that while in the movies. It's a cool, it's a cool bucket though. It's a really cool bucket. Definitely gonna put this on my shelf of all other popcorn buckets. Like I've got Mjolnir, I've got Ant Man's helmet, I've got just a Black Widow tin before they started doing like the fancy collectible ones. They just did like the tin with the different, well, kind of like this with the Dune, except the Black Panther one, or not Black Panther, Black Widow one has like Black Widow on it, and it says Black Widow on the other side. So I have that one, and then I also have like the actual Mjolnir popcorn bucket when Love and Thunder came out. I'm trying to think if I have any other popcorn buckets. I think I have another one. I can't remember what it is though. But yeah, I have quite a few popcorn buckets. I collect quite a few things like Funko Pops, video game consoles, movies and video games, popcorn buckets. I have like a bunch of those smashed pennies from a bunch of theme parks, like those little license plates that you can put stickers and put your names on. I got a few of those from different states. I don't have any magnets. My mom and dad collect magnets, but I don't have any magnets. Anyway, I collect quite a few things, and so when I know everyone's been making fun of the Dune popcorn bucket, but when I saw it, I was like, you know what? That worm is actually really cool. I know everyone's making fun of it, saying that it's like a fleshlight, but it's still a really cool popcorn bucket. You know, like just look at it. Like it's the sand with the worm coming out of the sand. It's got the teeth from the worm. Like it's a really cool popcorn bucket. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to set that on my shelf and I'm sure a bunch of people are gonna start talking about it when they see it. Especially my friends. I'm sure my friends will grab it and try to try to play with it. Yeah, I think it's pretty fascinating. Not that I'm ever gonna actually use the bucket. I don't eat popcorn, but I didn't even use this when they gave me popcorn. I ran this back out to my car so it wouldn't get messed up or I wouldn't lose it. That's my review for the popcorn bucket. But for the movie was fantastic, dude. Like the the cast, like we didn't see like Oscar Isaac because he died in the first one. Uh, David Dastmalchian, I didn't see in this one. I don't remember if he might have died in the first one actually, but I don't remember seeing him in this one. It took quite a while just for us to see Josh Brolin in the second one, as well as Stellan Skarsgård. Which, bringing up Stellan Skarsgård, I think in my movie reaction for the first Dune, I said at the end, "Oh, that was Stellan Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgård brothers." I know he's not one of the brothers; he's the father of them, but it's still part of the Skarsgård family. They're all phenomenal. Alexander Stellan. I can't think of the one that plays Pennywise. I'm blanking on his name, but yeah, they're all phenomenal. And it took me a while to recognize, or the first one actually, I didn't know it was Stellan Skarsgård. I even brought it up. I was like, "Is that who is that? Like, is that like a penguin, Colin Farrell type scenario where I'm not able to see who it is?" Uh, but once I heard the name or saw the name Stellan Skarsgård there in the credits, and watching part two today, I could tell it was Stellan Skarsgård. I could tell. But watching the first one yesterday, or not yesterday, but Tuesday, I didn't recognize him. It took me up until the credits to realize who it was. And then even then I flubbed and said that it was one of the brothers. It's not. It's not one of the brothers. Anyway, the cast were phenomenal. Even the newer ones that are or the new ones in part two. Like Austin Butler finally lost the Elvis accent and he did fantastic. I loved him as the villain. I loved that like Austin Butler played like a more a more intense character this time around, and Dave Batista was kind of the weakling. Um, I wasn't expecting that turn. Like Dave Batista was pretty terrifying in the first one. Not not as terrifying as like the worms or Stellan Skarsgård that could fly or float somehow. Still don't know how that was possible. Yeah, Dave Batista's character, he was kind of terrifying in the first one, and in the intro of the second one, he was still like demanding people around and stuff. But then when the Austin Butler character comes in, he's a lot more intense than Dave Batista's character was, and Dave Batista's character was kind of a weakling compared to Austin Butler. I liked that dynamic. I wasn't expecting Austin Butler's character to scare Dave Batista. And then Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya, they're badasses throughout the whole film. You also, I don't think we got Jason Momoa. Oh wait, no, Jason Momoa died in the first one. I forgot. So yeah, he wasn't in this one. Still don't quite fully understand the story. I may have to go read the. I think this covered part one and part two covered the first book, so I may have to go read the first book before I do a rewatch of the movies and before they come out with like a part three and a part four. which I'm sure they will because these movies are phenomenal and they're making so much money. So I don't see them like stopping the production of these films anytime soon. I'm sure they're just gonna keep pumping them out as well as long as the quality of the movies are still good and the fan interactions and the fans are still loving the film. I'm sure they're just gonna keep pumping them out. I don't know how many books there are. I'm sure it's like Game of Thrones where there's like 6 or 7 books. Um, so yeah, they've got several movies that they could make if they wanted to continue on with it. The story between like the first one and the second one, like the first one was I think the first one was more slower than the second one. The second one was a little bit better at the pacing. Not that it feels slow at all. Like neither one of them really feel like it's actually 3 hours, if you know what I mean. It's like so entertaining and thrilling, especially on the big screen. I enjoyed watching Dune Part Two a lot more than I did Dune One, and I'm glad I did come and watch Dune 2 in the theater. I wish I would have watched Dune 1 in the theater, but I'm I'm glad I got a movie reaction out of it at least. Anyway, like the story feels a little bit better paced for this one. It does still have like a lot of just atmospheric shots, like them in the desert or them riding the worm. Which when Tim is talking about um, great visuals, the scene where Timothy Chalamet finally gets to ride the worm was I don't even have words, dude. Like the the sound design, the music, the visual aesthetic of it, it was just phenomenal. Another great scene that had like really great visual aesthetics is when they cut to the planet where Austin Butler and Stellan Skarsgård's characters are from. The black and white scenes. Well, yeah, I mean, it is black and white. Like the planet itself is like black and white. It's just really visually beautiful. I, I was so astounded by like just that planet itself and like the visual aesthetics of the planet. Um, there's just so many great places and scenes like that in the film. But yeah, like the visuals, the actors, the storytelling, the sound design and the music, the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer. I almost said Zon Himmer. Hans Zimmer. Um, they were all like just amazing. I want to watch it again. I know it's a 3 hour movie, but I want to go watch it again. You know, I don't have time today, but I'm definitely gonna go watch it again in theaters before maybe 2 or 3 times before it gets removed from theaters. And yeah. Um, anyway, I'm trying to think of other people. Oh, Rebecca Ferguson's character. Um, she didn't really have a whole lot. Like I I thought in the first movie actually that she was fantastic. That Paul kind of had like the best mother in the first movie, but then in this one with her becoming whatever the tribe mother, becoming the tribe mother or the whatever they call her, basically the tribe mother, whatever they call her. Once he becomes that character and like drinks the holy water or the water of life, I think is what they call it, poison that they pull from the worm. Yeah, once she drinks that and she becomes the mother of all the people that are like going out and spreading the word about Paul being the one, even though he doesn't believe it himself that he's the one. When all that was going on, I was just like, man, like in the first movie, I really enjoyed her character, and I really liked the relationship between Paul and his mom. But the second one threw me for a loop when they did that change with her character, and she becomes a little bit more evil. I think. Like I know she still wants the best for her son and like save and like become like the all powerful mother or whatever of all these people. But she's kind of evil. And then once he drinks the holy water too, like he gets a little scary too. We all got a little bad and a little good in us, you know. We got good and bad. That's just human nature. She was she was a lot more terrifying in this film than the first one. Zendaya's character, I'm excited to see how they develop the relationship between Paul and Zendaya's character, and then Florence Pugh's character as well. In part 3 and 4, I'm excited to see how they expand on that relationship between all of them and where Zendaya's character goes after this. Like she could go several different ways. I'm excited to see what they do with her character. If I do end up reading the books, I'm only gonna read the first book. I'm not gonna spoil myself for the other movies when they come out. Eventually, I'll get to all the books. I just want to read the first book and see the differences between the movie, the 6 hours of storytelling, or however long it is, and then compare that to like the book. Yeah, if I do that, I'm not gonna spoil myself with reading the second and third and fourth and fifth books or however many there are. But it would be interesting to see where the characters go, and I'm excited for part 3 and 4. Like I can kind of see where they're headed, and obviously there's gonna be like this huge war between all the planets. But yeah, I've loved every minute we've got so far between part 1 and part 2. Hello there. Uh, I just wanted to pop in. I just got home from the movies, um, and I missed a few things in the review, so I just wanted to pop in real quick and give a few more thoughts. Uh, One being Anya Taylor Joy. Completely forgot she was in the movie until I got home, and then I started thinking back about what happened in part 2. I was like, oh yeah, Anya Taylor Joy appeared for just a second in the movie. Now, I have a question about that for the people that have read the books or know more about the Dune story. Was that supposed to be his sister? Like, was that a future like thing that he was seeing, where he was talking to his sister through the worm poison, or the what do they call it, the water of life, or something like that? Was was that his sister, or was that like one of the tribal mothers, whatever that term that they were using was? Was it one of the mothers that he was talking to? I was very confused by that scene. Um, if it is his sister, and if Anya Taylor Joy does make more of an appearance in part 3 and part 4, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. But I wasn't sure if that was supposed to be the sister he was talking to or not. I thought it was, but this this movie, there's a lot of things that you have to, go through and watch it several times to fully understand what's happening. So I'm gonna have to give it a second watch. Yeah, maybe you guys know. Was that his sister, or was that one of the the mothers that he was talking to after he supposedly died while drinking the poison. Because she did say "I love you" right there at the end before it cut back to the present day, if that was the future that he was seeing, or maybe it all just happened in his mind. I don't know. Still very confused about that. And then the second thing I wanted to bring up was uh, when Austin Butler, yeah, when his character first makes an appearance in the movie after walking out into the stadium of people or coliseum of people are on that planet that he and Stellan Skarsgård's character is from. Once he walks out, like when that first shot of him walking out occurs, I thought it was Bill Skarsgård at first. I even knew that he was gonna be in that, not Bill, but that Austin was gonna be in the movie. But that first shot, that first appearance of him, looked like Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise, kind of, and that had me thinking for the rest of most of the movie. Why didn't they just cast a Skarsgård for that role? Like, don't get me wrong, Austin Butler did a phenomenal job with that character, but you gotta admit, a Skarsgård brother could have could have done a more terrifying, more horrifying character. They just have that tone that gets you scared anytime they scream and yell, Which I felt that with Stellan Skarsgård's character the few times that he yelled at his people. Um, but but yeah, when he first showed up, I thought it was Bill Skarsgård, not Austin Butler. And then the kissing scene between Stellan Skarsgård and Bill or Austin Butler appeared, and I was like, oh, maybe it was a right move not to cast Skarsgård's son to kiss their father, in that scene. Such an awkward scene anyway, but that would have been even more awkward knowing that I was father and son. Should never kiss your kids on the lips. I know in some cultures, it's just normal. I find it weird. I find it awkward watching even parents kiss their like babies and stuff on the lip. I find it weird. Just don't do that. Like cheek, forehead, you can kiss your child other places. You don't have to kiss them on the lips. Oh yeah, when that scene appeared, I was just like, okay, yeah, probably the right move not to cast a Skarsgård as that character. Uh, Austin Butler did a fantastic job. I just think the Skarsgård brothers have that deeper gravitas, that that terrifying voice when they get angry and scream and yell at people. Bill, Alexander, Stellan, they all have it. But I was proud that Austin Butler lost his Elvis voice. I was proud of that. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Uh, I'll let past Steven take it back over. So, take it away, past Steven. So for action, I'm going to say like a 7. I think I gave the first movie like an 8. It's getting a little hot, but I'm gonna give the second one a 7. I think the action could have been a little bit better. That I was expecting more. Like the action just felt a little bit lousy at times. Um, and I don't mean to be mean when I say that. The fight scene between Austin Butler and Timothy Chalamet was awesome. I wouldn't change anything about that fight scene. But it's the other fight scenes that I would change. Like compared to that fight scene, all the other ones just seem lousier. Uh, they just seem to go by like too fast. And maybe that's because Paul's just like this all powerful being or whatever he's supposed to be that can see like the past and the future and can ride and call like the granddaddy of worms. He can like read and speak to people through their minds. It's yeah, he's just like all powerful being. So maybe I'm just not giving him enough credit, but all the other action scenes just seem weaker compared to the fight scene between him and Austin Butler. So for that reason, I'm gonna give action a notch lower for part two. So I'm gonna give part two action a 7. Comedy. This one was a lot funnier than part one. Actually, Javier Bardem kept making me laugh every time he was on screen. You didn't really get to see him a whole lot in the first part, but in the second part, he's on screen a lot more, as well as Zendaya, and Javier Bardem just kept making me laugh. So yeah, comedy. I'm gonna give it like a 4. I think I gave it like a 2 for the first one. I'll give this one like a 4, only for those few scenes with Javier Bardem. Drama, very dramatic, very heavy in the drama again. For part two, I think this one's even more dramatic than the first one. Yeah, so drama, I'm gonna give it like a 9. And then for horror and suspense, with seeing it on the big screen and seeing like the worms on the big screen and all the battles that were going on, all the big explosions through the Dolby, speakers, that intensified my experience a little more than than watching the first one on Tuesday. But it still isn't as horrifying as I want it to be. I wish the worms were just a little bit more scarier. So yeah, horror and thriller, I'm gonna give it like a 3. But yeah, that's gonna be my review. Sorry this review's been so long. I just like to talk, and this movie is so great. So yeah, that's my discussion, my review for Dune Part 2. And when Part 3 comes out, be looking for my trailer reactions as well as my movie review whenever it does come out. And I will see you guys later. Alright, bye bye.